Hey guys, it's me again. Welcome to another grip training session. Yeah, today I want to show you how you can really increase the strength of your wrist, because the wrist is so important, whether it be boxing, powerlifting, bodybuilding, calisthenics, or even grip training alone, right? I think that's obvious. And there are very classic exercises for building your grip strength, right? The most famous one is, of course, simply taking a dumbbell, right? You choose the weight, but simply taking a dumbbell and doing these flexes or extensions, right? Or twisting your wrist, right? And maybe do it again in this angle. That's the classic one, the classic technique everybody shows you and everybody knows for increasing your wrist strength. But when you really want to achieve great feat of strength in grip sport especially, right? In grip sports especially, but also in powerlifting, or you simply want to have a harder punch when you box, grip strength is very important. And the wrist plays a major role. I mean, if you punch, obviously, the wrist is the connection between your hand and your forearm, right? So this needs to be stable and also very strong in order to deliver the punching power. And if it's not strong enough, well, what might happen is that your hand slides away like that or like that, and you may end up hurting your wrist, breaking your hand and whatsoever, right? So we should never ever neglect the wrist. And that's why I always tell bodybuilders, right? If you really want to strengthen your whole body, because powerlifters don't do it anyway. But if you are really interested guy in strengthening your whole body, never ever use wristbands. Because if you use wristbands, especially all the time, I mean, if you do it once because you're hurt and you have to finish a workout, that's a different story, okay? But if you do it all the time, just for gaining more power in other muscle areas, so that it's easier for you to push more or to pull more, simply because you're taking the wrist out of your out of the exercise, right? That's not good long term. And these exercises are perfectly fine at the beginning stage, I would say, but there are better ones. And today I want to show you two equipments that can really help you building your wrist strength, okay? And it's very interesting that I went to the ironmind.com website once again, and I was looking at all the stuff they had there for sale. And what I found so interesting is that they really have good equipment for things that they do not really look to certify somebody on, but simply for improving you to get better at certain other things where you want to be certified maybe one day. And one of these things was basically a dumbbell, so a shoulder barbell with the weight just on one hand. And that's basically looking like that. So you can also create this at home. You do not need to buy it from Ironmind, but it's always inspirational to go to this website and see what they all think about, right? And normally, of course, you would always use the same weight on each side, but then again, think about it. We just want to increase our grip and wrist strength, and of course our forearm is also involved in here, right? So the first exercise you can do is, of course, you take it depends on how heavy this is for you. I know I took the 5 kg, but I really find it a bit too heavy for me. So therefore I do not really push the hand, grab the handle at the end, but rather in the middle, okay? So that the leverage isn't too bad for me. And what you can then do is you twist it outside. Make sure you use good collars, by the way, okay? You twist it outside, come back in, doing like this, maybe go this way, right? And also, and this is something you can especially do if you're using this kind of equipment, is rotations. So that looks very easy, but it's not. It's even using my chest muscles, my biceps, my triceps, but of course especially the wrist, the hand, and the forearms. So that's the first exercise. So let's say that was my first set. And by the way, the first time I did it myself in reality. So next time what I will do is I go down to 2.5 and grab it by the end of the handle, by the end of the bar, okay? But just for testing, just for showing you, this is a great movement, a great exercise. And what you see oftentimes in karate, for example, is that people train with that, right? Because in karate, they know in order to deliver punching power, they have to have a strong grip. So what you see is always that movement in karate. Just with a longer stick and maybe less weight, right? But again, perfect exercise to really strengthen your wrist. Much better than those classic techniques that I show you, right? And I said I always want to show you something different. And when you really research on the internet, you find a lot of stuff that might speed up your own process, okay? So that's the first thing I really love. And especially those rotations are hard, okay? They are really hard. Can do it in reverse, of course, but you see, it's not that easy. So I will definitely go down in weight the next time, but now I keep it, okay? And it's also good. I mean, if it's really too hard for you, then grab it really almost near the plates and do then your curls, right? So you have the choice to make it easier and harder on yourself, which I also like. And the fact that you don't need to buy specific equipment for this exercise is even better. Because when I see these special accessories, these special equipments, right? They always look good and you always want to buy them. But they aren't cheap. And if you can get the same benefit out of a homemade version, why buy something, right? So always pay attention to the colors. You should use very good colors, not the worst ones you have. So I'm using right now the best ones I have. Because once this falls on the floor breaks. Right. So that's the first one. And now the second one after a while. Maybe you can already see it here behind me. This black rod you see over there. It's not really a rod, it's just the handle of a hammer. And for you guys who watched me last summer, they already saw me perform my tire beatings with this 4 kg, right? With this 4 kg hammer, right? And this is also a typical exercise. I thought like 4 kilo should be possible for you to do at the very end of the handle, but it's not. So I maybe have to grab it really in the middle. And what you do is, you're doing slow reps here, right? So vertical extensions and flexions of your wrist. I do 3 now in each hand. So you see, it's not always the weight, it's also the leverage that plays a huge role in these two exercises. And as my left hand is of course a bit weaker, this is even harder for me on the left side, right? So if I'm able to once grab it here and do the same exercise, I will be very, very happy. And of course, Okay, now you can do it again, sitting or standing, however you want it. And you can do that sideways too, right? So simply like that. And if you don't feel any pressure on your wrist, doing this particular exercise here, I don't know what will. Because this is extremely beneficial. So start with those dumbbell shit, with this dumbbell shit, but then move on and do something better, okay? So first you really might need to do it with the dumbbells, because you want to get a feel for it, and you might be afraid that you injure yourself, but you can't injure yourself if you do it as slowly as you can and pay attention to what you do, right? So, 2 exercises now here. And of course what you can also do is, I mean, you can also put it like that and try to lift it, but it's not so easy, man. So also this is possible, right? Holding the hammer horizontally and not vertically. Because, look, it definitely makes a difference. So now I have the tension here, but when I twist it, I have it more here, right? So everything makes a difference. Always pay attention to that. It's the same with bodybuilding. If you're doing close grip bench presses, it's significantly different from a normal grip bench press. And here's the same. Here it's really the same. So that's another thing. And next time I will show you an exercise which is primarily made for combat sports, especially for karate, but I found it even more beneficial in boxing, because boxers have the strongest punches and use punches only in their combat. And it also has a benefit for grip sports enthusiasts. And why that is the case, I will show you next time, but I'm not gonna tell you right now what it is. So let me do a couple of these again. So you should always vary your exercises, right? Always vary. And you have to do your own research. Most of the things, I mean, I have now a fellow YouTuber, as I told you, East Frisian Grip Garage. Go to his channel, who's very experienced in grip sports, and he tells me a lot of things, or already told me a lot of things, but I'm also doing my own research and looking for own answers. And I do not always agree with everything, but when I don't have any experience and somebody tells me that's the better way, I follow the people's advice, okay? Because there's no shame in not knowing everything. There are a lot of people who don't know shit about economics, for example. And if they want to know anything about economics or management, I can perfectly tell them, you know? So never, always be humble. Never be too ashamed to ask or to say you don't know it, because nobody can know everything in this world, right? Maybe one last time. In front, into the back. Oh, we're doing these rotations. I think I like them the most, although they are the hardest ones. Oh, backwards, it's so hard. And now, some last like this. Okay guys, that's it. I'm doing more grip stuff these days because I'm still a bit sick and I don't want to overtrain. So that's why you might see more grip stuff coming up this week than any other thing. Not so much powerlifting because I'm still sick and I don't want to risk getting even sicker, you know, but you have to do something, and as long as it's just grip while sitting on a chair, it's perfectly fine. So there you have it.